what do you know about GreenBrook? Everyone at the business is to put the customer first. I think what's going to be demanded for in 2, 3, 4 years' time will be much, much more. The operational efficiencies will be the main thing for us. We have a job as a manufacturer to promote what we do to the market. Gives the direction of the business, usability of the website will be much, much better. And I don't think any of us can put our name to selling products that we don't feel comfortable with. GreenBrook is about the people. We do things the right way. We should do everything better today than we did it the day before, albeit we all compete in a tough competitive world. We all get on, but just to see everyone buying into the changes was great. That's nothing compared to what we're going to do.
So here we are, Peter. Welcome to the first episode of the Perfect Contact podcast series.
Hi.
So this is almost the pilot, you could say.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So, as always, lovely to see you. GreenBrook, we're going through a big change, I can see. So talk to us a little bit more about this transformation and why you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I felt is really desperately needed for some time. And I think over the last few years, and I think GreenBrook has probably felt that we're a bit dated at that stage, and I think that we really need to update the brand. And we've talked about it. We've been very good at doing our trade counter displays and all those sort of things, but I just think the whole company needed a refresh. And when we sort of look at the products that we had, we were great at having a massive range of products. And one of the things that kind of always bothered me, and I've said this many times, is that I kind of felt that we were a get out of jail free card for lots of wholesalers. And, we did lighting. For us, it was a good time to refresh the business, bring the business much more modern and bring it into the modern day, I guess. So we decided to obviously go for the rebrand. We've liquidated our lighting position, as we've talked about, and we're going out with a new face of the company, and it's really exciting. It's really good. So
it's quite interesting. So am I really hearing from you there that the audiences have changed? I mean, really, the behaviour of wholesalers, contractors is changing all the time. So it's your desire to to not just meet that, but sort of work together to push the industry forward.
Yeah, I think what we've seen quite a lot is really the drive for data and the drive for much more clearer information and really just the management of the products that we have. And I think from my perspective is we needed an identity, and I think GreenBrook, we've always had Powerbreaker as a brand, which everybody knows, but that was kind of all we held put our hat on, really. We're very well known for timers, we're very well known for us, but it just felt that we needed a direction. And I think from my perspective, the new brand and with the Pro Series and the Core Series gives us that direction. And it's basically a simplified offer to the market where people can know where they go, they know what we stand for, and more importantly, it gives an opportunity to grow in the sector and become a player in the field, really. So everyone knows where they sit with GreenBrook. So
that's outwardly talking to your customers and delivering the products and services that you do. How does that manifest inside the company? I mean, are there other changes that you're going through at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's also been an exciting change. We've had lots of change within the business. People have changed roles. We've brought new people into the business. So this year and the back end of last year, so we've had a new finance director, a new operations director, we brought in a sales director, and our commercial director is only just fairly into his role from that. So the whole management team has changed quite massively, all with the same goals, all with the same direction, and the management team underneath that. So it's just basic putting round pegs in round holes, basically, is what we're trying to do. And that's we're ready now to go forward.
So from a people infrastructure, that's a big change. Presumably, you've also got kind of technical and systemized infrastructure changes. So what does that look like?
Well, with the data side, what we talked about earlier, so the technical side, again, is I had a chat with someone the other day when we were talking about what are the requirements for data in the wholesale sector from contractors, from developers, and what they actually need. And I think if you look at what they've got now, that's really quite in its infancy. I think what's going to be demanded for in 2, 3, 4 years' time will be much, much more, which is great because obviously it means we're all providing, it's a level playing field for everyone to have the right data. But from our perspective, it's the message we want to deliver to our customers, that when they buy a product from us, they know it's tested, they know it's the right spec, and they've got all the data that they need from that product and all the things that they need digitally as well. So with our new website and our new ERP system, that has really made a massive difference to us. And that's, our, I guess, the original ERP system we've had since sort of late 90s, and we were desperately for bringing in a modern system to work with what we want to produce from a data perspective.
So yeah, ERP systems. So what how does that, as opposed to what you do with that, how does that affect your customers?
Well, just the operational efficiencies will be the main thing for us, and obviously the data. So the system we had at the moment was dated. It's an old system, like I said, 97, that we've been working with. And for us, the engine of the business is the ERP system. And I think that was probably the first thing that we identified that we needed to get sorted. So we put the new ERP system has gone in, but it's to give us those operational efficiencies, the reports we can get, the management of stock, the management of our freight, the management of all the things that we do will be much, much more improved. And that will link to the new website as well.
So the new website looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell us more about that. So it's very different to the old site and than others I've perhaps seen in the marketplace. So
yeah, I think it's not my technical expertise with websites, but obviously we've got a great team working on it, and the marketing team that we've got at GreenBrook have done a fantastic job as well. And I think what we want is, I spoke to a lot of wholesalers, and obviously we only sell to wholesalers, so it's about them logging in. But the one thing that we really, really also need to reach is the contractors and the developers as well. And whilst we only sell to wholesalers, we have a job as a manufacturer to promote what we do to the market. So contractors need to feel safe buying our products, developers need to feel safe specifying our products, and what the new website is designed to do is to reach all those markets. Yeah. So obviously our wholesalers with a login, and that will take them through into the Pro series and the core series of products, but also developers and contractors will also have access to, looking at the consumer units they want, the timers they want, all the things that they want to specify and buy for a product, and have all the data with those things, so they have the confidence in buying those products. So it's almost like meeting all the three audiences in the right way and delivering that message to them, really.
Yeah, that's now I know enough to know that that's really different currently than what's in the market. And to your point, at the end of the day, you've recognised that you've got more than one audience that you're trying to reach. So what sort of resources are they looking for? So be that wholesaler or the contractors or the developers or the specifiers, what do they look for outside of just the product?
Yeah, I think if you go take a step back where GreenBrook was, we got products from the Far East and other areas we buy in the UK. We've developed products in the UK, but everything we did was geared to GreenBrook and the wholesalers and what we did with the electrical wholesalers. But there was a real need for us to create demand for those projects and the wholesalers that we're working with. So my background is projects. I've worked with contractors. As we've developed that part of the business, we're talking to contractors, creating demand for our wholesalers, providing the product data for them, working with them, looking at getting jobs quoted. So we're kind of adding an extra layer of support to our wholesalers by raising the profile of GreenBrook to the contractors. And I think if you go back, if you did a short straw poll and you spoke to a load of contractors and said, what do you know about GreenBrook? It would be very mixed. They might know some of the commodity products that they buy from us. Would they know timers? Yes, probably quite well. But the other stuff would probably fall down a little bit, I guess. So what we really, really want to do with the new website is to promote to contractors, developers, and support our wholesalers.
So I've seen a lot of your, I guess you would call them explainer videos of how the products get used and the products in use. So that's really interesting. So that's a great resource, I imagine, for contractors. And at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense to me that what's actually happening there is when contractors or specify, when things aren't even built yet, so people are in the planning stage of doing a new housing estate, they've got the opportunity to specify exactly what they want. But they can get all of that intelligence and all that information from the new site and some of the resources that you're doing in order that they can, get what's fit for purpose.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's about, you want to deliver the best possible offer to your customers, whether it be a contractor, whether it be a wholesaler, whether it be a developer. I don't think you should do anything unless you really, really feel you're going to be the best at it. And, Powerbreaker is such a strong brand, a massively strong brand. But if I'm honest, we probably haven't invested enough in growing that brand as circuit protection. And I think if we'd have done circuit protection 25, 30 years ago, we'd probably be 200 million turnover right now.
Yeah.
But the problem is we didn't. So as we start our journey into circuit protection with the technical expertise that we have, that is really, really starting to grow. And we've recently acquired the license for MK Sentry, which further strengthens our position in circuit protection, and it gives the direction of the business into that market, and then everything else links through that with the timers, with the occupancy, all the things that we do with the commodity products, and presenting it in core and pro is really the best way. It's a simple way.
So I'm really wanted to take you back there, Peter, on the is it the Pro and the Core series?
Yep.
Presumably before that it wasn't that. So what? Tell me more about that.
Well, we had various brands and sectors, and I think for me is. So we wanted to deliver a message where it was really simple for our customers to see where the product's sat.
Right.
So you have your Pro series of products and your Core series of products.
Right.
And the differentiation between the two is that the Pro series are wired products, basically like power breaker, distribution, timers, all the things that you would see as a wired live product.
Right.
And the core products would be our commodity products. So the conduit boxes, the switch and socket boxes,
Gotcha.
Those sort of things. So there's a distinct differentiation between the two. And it's just presented in a very simplistic way on the website. You can see the core series, you can see the Pro series, all the brands and all the things are set underneath that. And it just gives you that easy navigation to find what you're looking for.
Right.
And it just looks great how it's presented, and having it in just two sections like that, all under the GreenBrook banner, just makes it really easy to look at.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So talk to me about, obviously I can see that you're really attuned to kind of thought leadership at the moment. So these podcasts being part of this journey. And I can see that you're partnering up with certain bodies in your industry. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, we've always been part of the bodies. We really, really value safety. It's been a big thing for me. I don't think that's quite truly respected in our industry sometimes. It's been that we invest a lot of money in making sure that the products that we sell are safe. And I don't think, without being controversial, I don't think others follow the same thing that we do.
Yeah.
So from my perspective is we want to make sure that we really, really strongly deliver that message. So working with people like BEAMA, who we've worked with for a long, long time, but I think for us it's about working together. So we want to raise BEAMA really just as much as we want to raise GreenBrook. So we've worked with BEAMA. I've had meetings with Nick there. We've been a BEAMA member for a number of years, but I think wholesalers need to understand what BEAMA stand for and what BEAMA are doing in the industry, right, and the importance that they present in lobbying government, making sure that standards are followed, and really you want them on your side. And if we're attuned to working with them, then then we're kind of both going down the same road when it comes to safety. And for me, that's why we want to work with BEAMA. And as a manufacturer, the good thing about working with BEAMA is I think you get a leg up. You're a year ahead of where everyone else is. So when you're talking about standards, when you're talking about safety, we will have the inside track of what is happening because we sit on the committees, we sit on the board, and we look at those sort of things as well.
So one of the things that you spoke about quite a lot today, Peter, is that kind of customer experience.
Yeah.
And the website looks like it can do all of this. So talk to us about that, because obviously you've got more than one audience.
Yeah, no, I think with the website is so if we look at the wholesale sector for a second, so what we want to do with the wholesalers is live information. So obviously stock updates are totally live. When stock's coming in, they can download product information. They get a discount for ordering online, and really just get into a position where they could place orders, specify when they want and really look at sort of from their perspective, when they place an order with us, they can check the previous orders. There's loads of things that we can bring into play with the website where they can, and it just makes it much, much easier for them to filter through. It's a silly little thing that, our website in the past was probably a little bit slow. And I know that you're only talking about milliseconds, but that makes such a difference because people just want to place an order, get it done, and move on, I guess. And we've sped up the website with everything that we're doing to make sure that people can just get on, log in, look at everything we've got up. There'll be offers on there for them as well when they log in,
right,
and all those things will be available. So just that whole usability of the website will be much, much better.
Yeah.
From a contractor perspective, we've got a multi-platform system so that if he's on site and he wants to look on his phone, he can download data sheets, he can get product information literally straight away, all those sort of things direct to his phone. If a specification engineer was trying to download information on any particular product, he can do that. So we'll be offering data sheets on just a single product data sheet or a group product data sheet.
Right.
So we are covering every single base with the website, and obviously we want to make it look good as well, so that's really key. And with the new brand, it looks kind of really good. It looks really simple, and it's great. It's a great new brand, new logo, and yeah, we're really excited about it. It looks, it's great.
Okay, so the customer experience, I really, really like what you're saying there. So I can get that from a digital perspective, online buying and things like that through your new website. But what does customer service look like?
Yeah, everything. Like I say, from my perspective is, and all our staff is, I've seen it firsthand. They move mountains to support the customer, and what we want to get that message across is we're trying to put in things to support our customers. So our wholesalers can now order up to a Saturday morning and get it delivered on a Monday.
Right.
So we have that. They can order before midday on a Saturday and it gets delivered on a Monday. Everyone at the business is to put the customer first. Customer services, the business development team, the technical team, it's all about that. And because without customers, you don't have a business. So that's really the main thing that we want that message to be delivered, is that for me, I would want customer service to be how I would want customer service. And to be honest, we can all give examples of terrible customer service. And you always talk about terrible customer service more, but for me, it's about having that exceptional customer service.
Yeah, no, so that's interesting. So obviously, you're the MD now, steering the ship, but you were once in sales, so that correlation works really well, isn't it? So you know what a good customer service can look like.
Yeah, and I always have that sales hat on.
Yeah,
you can't stop that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But from my perspective, we've got the right people driving those teams. The managers get together and talk about how they can improve things every month.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's really good that they care enough to make sure that it's right.
Yeah. So this sounds really, really exciting. So I guess the big question then, Peter, is I can see what's changed.
Yeah.
What's next? What's coming? What's coming down the line?
Yeah, well, we're looking to with the new changes, we're looking to really drive that forward, and obviously we're as goes back to what I said about being better than you were the day before. Is we're always looking for the next best thing. So the website, we're going to be looking to do loyalty points, points where our customers can get the rewards. We're looking at all those sort of things. With the developer side and the contractor side, we're looking at moving things so the interaction of our website will be much, much better, so they can look at almost designing their own boards and designing their own things.
Oh, I like that.
And then get quotations delivered from us. So just all these things to make it better going further forward is really what we're looking to do. And like I say, with all those things, it's about delivering something better all the time. So yes, we just started. What I'm saying is we just started.
Yeah. So presumably there'll be more products coming through.
Yeah, we're looking at particularly on the commodity side where we haven't really sort of filled those gaps. There's lots of new products coming on the commodity sides. Obviously, we'll be developing new products from our added value stuff within the Pro Series. So yeah, it's an exciting time.
Yeah. So, okay, you're a manufacturer. Principally, you're a manufacturer. So you buy your products from all over the world, effectively. So what does that look like? I guess there's two things here. There's kind of the quality of what things you have in play with quality assurance. And then I'd like to move on to the subject of kind of the sustainability factor, you know, as we move forward, what does that look like as far as GreenBrook's concerned?
Yeah, I mean, what I'll do, I'll address the quality of the products first of all, and I'll come on to sustainability. So for me, I can't put my name, and I don't think any of us can put our name to selling products that we don't feel comfortable with. And I think product quality for me is massive. That's what we really, really care about. So we work with we work closely with our partners in the Far East. We work closely with our partners in the UK, and we make sure that the products that come into the UK are tested, fully checked. We work with SEDEX, which is an organisation that audit our factories to make sure that they do things the right way. I don't think there's many people work with SEDEX, which costs money.
Yeah.
All these things cost money. So the products that come in, and then we also test in the UK. So we have the two factors of testing.
Yeah.
When it comes to sustainability, like I said, it's something that is a real hot topic. It's talked about a lot. Like I said, you can't turn on the TV or a radio without hearing about sustainability. And from our perspective is we want to make sure that we are doing things the right way. We work with a company called EcoVadis, which...
what's EcoVadis?
Yeah, they're a sustainability... So that they basically monitor our carbon footprint. So they monitor our sustainability, they monitor, and it's quite a detailed document. It's really, we've been with them for 2 years. We've just put our next submission through. So you have to be audited every single year.
Right.
And they will work with you, and they'll make sure that all the things that you're doing are the right things, and you get a score of your sustainability.
Right.
And that's really what we're pushing. So we do a lot of things with regards to that, and obviously we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way.
So that's really interesting, Peter. That kind of covers off that sustainability factor. What about kind of corporate social responsibility? Big thing at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think the EcoVadis covers that, obviously, from the Far East, but EcoVadis also monitors our corporate responsibility in the UK.
Right.
The welfare of us. So whilst we care about the Far East side and where we get products from, we also care about the staff as well that we have in Harlow, and make sure that, and so it all kind of links. So what we do transpires to what we do in Harlow as well.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So what I do know is that your staff here, they're obviously very loyal because, quite a few of them have been working at GreenBrook for some time. I mean, it says a lot about the way you must be doing things and the way you operate as a business. So tell us more about that.
GreenBrook's really about the people, and the good thing about GreenBrook, and I've spoken to wholesalers, we speak to customers, is there's a lot of goodwill to GreenBrook from many, many years, obviously. So we do things the right way. We care about the industry, we care about our staff, and actually the staff, that's why it's quite nice to deliver this message and obviously deliver the new brand, because the staff have really bought into this and they've been involved from that journey all the way through. So everyone that's been with GreenBrook for a long, long time, to see the changes, it's been really, really exciting. And that for me has been great, because we've got people who've been there a long, long time.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I did a bit of research, obviously, before this particular podcast. So I've seen all of the new values that you have up there. It was impact, I think it was.
impact,
that's what it spelt out. So what was the drive behind the impact values? What was the message there?
Well, it was about a couple of years ago. We put a note out to the business, like to all the staff, is we wanted to stand for something as a business, and we wanted basically something that everyone lived their lives by. And the thing that one of the things that I've always maintained is that we should do everything better today than we did it the day before, and
That's
I
nice.
think we should always try to be that way and put others before yourself. So the impact is the values that, with the innovation. So we innovate in all areas of the business, and from my perspective, it's just about, if you want to nut it all down to one point, it's about being better today than we were yesterday. It sounds a bit corny, but
no, I love it. No, I really, I don't think it does sound corny. It feels real.
Yeah, and it is real, and and I think if we all live our lives that way, and obviously look, and to put others before yourself, then it's kind of the same thing, really. And I think the staff really embrace it and they like it. We also do. We have this thing called Perk Box, where the staff get points things if they work with our values.
Oh, okay.
So they get like points given to them if they've done the right thing.
Yeah.
So they can try so it's a silly little thing, but everyone's birthday. So when it's your birthday, you get £50 of vouchers for your birthday. And if it's a special birthday, you get £75. So everyone gets a little message to say happy
lovely.
birthday, and then they get the points delivered to their phone, and they can spend it on, coffees, shops, things. And sometimes if they follow our values and all the things that we're doing, managers can donate points for someone who's done a good job, or if someone's got a nice order.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
That. So it's people quite like it, and people are really. I'm seeing all the integration on Perk Box and the points that they get, and where people are spending money and things like that. So, for me, it is all about the staff, and like I said, that's without them, we wouldn't be anything, would we?
Yeah, and isn't it interesting? In this digital world that we live in, it's still about people, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
And
absolutely.
people buy from people still, don't they?
And I think if you go back to, without talking about COVID, but when the Zoom world appeared, everyone thought that everyone's world was going to change, and that salespeople would all be working on Zoom and all those sorts, and Teams, and sales would be done on video chat. It's just gone back to where it was, and it'll be the same because people buy from people. And the good thing about our industry, and that's why we talk about it, lots of us in our industry, that once you're in, you can never get out.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, really.
It literally is true, because everyone in our industry is great.
Yeah.
And even our competitors and the manufacturers, there isn't many people who aren't nice.
Yeah.
And that's what we say about our industry, is that albeit we all compete in a tough competitive world, we all get on. And that's why the industry's so good.
Yeah, well, you speak, in the short time that we've known each other, you speak very highly of your competitors, and I think, again, that says a lot.
Yeah, I've got friends, friends.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, and friends from this, and they could be people who are selling the same products as we are, and, we attend dinners and we do all the things that we do. But for me, it's, everyone in our industry are good people, and that's the kind of good thing about the industry, is there isn't a day where you don't think, and I genuinely mean this, there isn't a day where you think, the people are generally good.
Yeah. Now, so let's talk about you for a second here. So how long have you been in the industry? How long have you been doing this?
A long time. I'm old now. I started in the industry, 26 years ago.
Right.
Working for MITA.
Man and boy.
Yeah, man and boy, absolutely. Yeah, working for MITA. Then subsequently worked with Schneider. And then I joined GreenBrook as National Sales Manager, became Sales Director, and now Managing Director. So sort of kind of a natural progression upwards, really. But yeah, it's been great. And like I said, going back to what I said about the industry, it's a great industry to be in. And I'm fortunate to have, lucky to have a position like this that I can influence what we're doing now and hopefully influence the industry. And going back to our staff, it's quite nice to see some of the younger staff developing as well. We've done EDA modules where they learn about different sectors of the market. We've invested in training.
Yeah.
Some of our guys are on we have a man who does our training called Chris Vance from Pinnacle.
Right.
So we pay money for him to do individual 2-day seminars where he trains the sales guys and trains the internal people. So we've invested a lot in training as well, and that's the other good thing, is seeing the younger people develop in our industry.
Yeah.
And they really like it.
Yeah, well, future ambassadors, right? I mean, for the business, that's what you're looking for, champions all the time, picking up on your desire to, make an impact. You're basically giving people a voice, right?
Yeah, and they don't like it when I tell them they've locked in. They're not going to leave our industry now. They're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the good thing, is when you see, but also I think the one thing I would take away from it is that, when we did the company launch, so we did a big launch to our
Oh, right.
business.
Yes.
We closed the company for half a day, and everyone came to a venue in Harlow, and we presented everything that we're doing. But just to see everyone buying into the changes was great.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. So 25 years, quite a long time.
Yeah.
Few changes in the industry, I mean. Tell us. I mean, I can only imagine how that's different now than it perhaps was once upon a time.
Yeah, it's changed, but it hasn't changed, if that makes sense.
Right.
I think, like I said, everything sort of like the people's values are kind of where they were. I think the changes are the digital changes and all those things. And obviously when we talked about the website, and obviously with the people ordering online, those sort of things, that's a change. But the actual core industry is the same, really. With the standard changes and the product changes and the digital changes. But yeah, it's obviously I've been in sales and I've moved up to management. So, but I think generally the industry is the same.
Yeah.
But it's the digital changes that are really driving it.
To round the circle then, so big change, lots of things happening, feels really exciting, very energetic. I'm getting a lot of positive energy from you, Peter, so you must be excited. Yeah,
really excited. I mean, like I say, we've only just really started, but the new brand has been great to deliver that. And like I said, it's so exciting to have something new, and everyone's enthused, and that's really the main thing we want to get across, is that we can't wait to get out and get everyone on board, start getting those projects and working hard. It's just great.
Yeah.
For me, and the one thing I've said it a lot, is with GreenBrook, we never really had our identity, because we had so many products and all those things, that it was very hard to position where we were. So the one thing that we've really, really looked at and focused on is basically we've taken what we're best at, the best of what we are, and the products that we have. And if you look at Pro, what we've done is we've put all the products that we focused on: circuit protection, timers, all the products that we do with occupancy detectors, and really look to drive those in our Pro series of products. We've got the MK Sentry distribution now, which I talked about earlier. And in the cable management side, under the core series, we've got the cable management products. And the one thing that we really, really want to do is look at focusing on driving the development of those products, increasing the technical things that we do and all the things to make the products better, but also filling some of those gaps that we have in the cable management products. So you'd have your core products, which are effectively the products that don't have any live cables, I guess, and in the Pro series they're the products that would be live products, so circuit protection, timers, all those sort of things. So effectively we're focused on what we're best at, and going back to, actually, if you're going to do something, you should do it to the best of your ability, and only do it if you think you can be a leader in that product range. So we've picked all the things that we genuinely think we can lead the way on, and that's really what we're trying to do with Pro and Core.
So this is really interesting. So we've got, so here we are, we're in the Perfect Contact podcast series. What else are you doing, from a marketing perspective?
Well, a lot. We haven't, over probably the last couple of years, we've been a bit invisible on our marketing, and we haven't really invested what we wanted to invest. And I guess it probably stems from the fact that we weren't ready. It's almost like we've taken a couple of steps back to take great strides going forward, I think. And from my perspective is we want to be out there. We literally want to be on all the social media channels. Doing this podcast proves that we want to do things differently. And digitally is we want to deliver the right message on the new brand. And I guess it's almost like keeping our head down. And now we're ready to go forward. And I think we are going to get out there. We're going to show everyone what we're doing. We're going to promote the new brand because we're excited about the new brand. And we're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to go through all the digital stuff, Instagram, all the things that we do, and we're going to really drive it.
Yeah, you see, that's great. So, and I guess at the end of the day, your three audiences that you mentioned earlier, depending on how they consume their media, there's always a place that they can find what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think obviously there's different age demographics in our industry, and you still got. I guess the older guys that still have the Facebook and the younger guys on Instagram and TikTok and all.
Yeah.
So there isn't going to be anywhere that we're not looking to really drive the digitalization of GreenBrook and the new brand. And like I said, it's even with the new logo and the little power button on the G is fantastic because we can deliver so much with that, and that's why it's really exciting because. Well, you can see I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting, isn't it? So, because it's not just digital, I guess. I suppose, as far as the traditional retail experience of contractors going into a wholesaler, I mean, they're going to see GreenBrook in a very different light, presumably.
Yeah, and we've been. GreenBrook has been very, very good at raising its profile on the displays that we do, and most people always say they always compliment me on our trade counter displays. Well, that's nothing compared to what we're going to do. So the wholesalers and the support we give them on the trade counter displays is going to take a whole new dimension on what we're trying to do.
So I'm hearing about the digital kind of customer experience. What about the more traditional? I mean, you mentioned earlier that your sales team, they still, I imagine they're still field sales, are they? They're out seeing people?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a good strength in our sales team. We've got full coverage across the UK. And from my perspective, the sales guys were very, very good at doing displays, and we were really well recognised for that. People used to talk to me about it all the time. We were very good at putting that in. So from my perspective, the sales guys with the new brand, they will have their own package of materials that they can offer the wholesalers, and it will be displays, it will be the data that they need for products, all the things that a wholesaler needs. The sales guys will be on to deliver on the things that they have, and we are going to be investing a lot of time to make sure that the message we get on that wholesale counter when the contractors go in and they see that new brand and they see GreenBrook will be second to none.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So looking at your synergy circle that you showed me before, so that's how you kind of round that circle, isn't it? Everyone is affecting everyone. So all of these touch points that you're having with all of your audiences.
Yeah, and we've done. I always think we've been quite innovative as a business. For a small business, people probably thought we were much bigger than we were because of what we did, and from my perspective is we want to carry that on, but we want to do it so much better, and to be innovative, to come up with fresh ideas, fresh approaches, fresh things for the trade counter, so that when people see that brand, they know exactly what they're going to get. And it goes back to customer service, it goes back to all the things that we talked about to make sure that when they see GreenBrook, they know they're going to get the top of everything.
Yeah, it sounds great.